Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tonight we're reading from the second chapter, Bhagavad Gita as it is, text number 3. Page number 71. Kaibhyam masma gama partha naitat tavani upadayate sudram ridaya durbalayam jagdavo tista Rantapa Bhavyam Masam Smagama Partha Etat Vani Upapadjate Sudram Ridya Durbalay Balyam Jagdo Tista Rantapa Word for word. Kavyam, impotence. Masma, do not. Gama, take two. Partha, O son of Prita. Na, never. Etat, this. Tvai, unto you. Upapadjate is befitting. Sudram, petty. Vidya, of the heart. Durbalam, weakness. Yaktva, giving up. Utista, get up. Param, tapa, O chastise the enemy. Translation and purport. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. O son of Prita, do not yield to this degraded impudence. It does not become you. Such petty weakness of heart. Give up such petty weakness of heart. and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Please repeat. O son of Brita, do not yield to this degraded impudence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Purport. Arjuna was addressed as the son of Pritha, who happened to be the sister of Krishna's father, Vasudeva. Therefore, Arjuna had a blood relationship with Krishna. If the son of a Kshatriya declines to fight, he is a Kshatriya in name only. If the son of a Brahmana acts impiously, he is a Brahmana in name only. Such Kshatriyas and Brahmanas are unworthy sons of their fathers. Therefore, Krishna didn't want Arjuna to become an unworthy son of a Kshatriya. Arjuna was the most intimate friend of Krishna, and Krishna was directly guiding him on the chariot. But in spite of all these credits, if Arjuna abandoned the battle, he would be committing an infamous act. Therefore, Krishna said that such an attitude of Arjuna did not fit his personality. Arjuna might argue that he would give up the battle on grounds of magnanimous attitude for most respectable Bhishma and his relatives. But Krishna did not consider that sort of magnanimity mere. But Krishna considered that sort of magnanimity mere weakness of heart. Such false magnanimity was not approved by any authority. Therefore, such magnanimity or so-called nonviolence should be given up. So-called nonviolence should be given up by persons like Arjuna. So-called nonviolence should be given up by persons like Arjuna under the direct guidance of Krishna. Om Arjuna-taram Dasya Jana Slakaya Sakshu-mitam Jena Tasmei Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Antiksam Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Parakamam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sajatam Sagana Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savhutam Krishna Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Nitam Cha Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapade Gopisha Gopikanta Radhakanta Namaste Takta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishavana Sute Devi Piramani Hari Priye Vanchakopa Dhruvyascha Viva Sindhu Evacha Parinambhav Nevyo Vaishnavyo Namo Naha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Translation once again. O son of Partha, do not yield to this degraded impudence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. So, again, this from text 1 to 10, Arjuna is expressing his doubts about fighting the battle of Kurukshetra. And Krishna Prabhupada lectured on this second chapter of Bhagavad Gita in London in 1973. And he made different points. He made the point about Kshatriya, about the identity of Krishna, about giving oral reception, about the position of Krishna, about controlling the senses, about women, and about different types of liberation for devotees. So the first point here is the word used, durbalyam, ridaya durbalyam, weakness of heart. This Krishna is actually saying to Arjuna, don't become a coward. So this weakness of heart is also described in the 15th chapter, purport. While one is performing devotional service in the association of pure devotees in full Krishna consciousness, there are certain things which require to be vanquished altogether. The most important thing is that one has to surmount his weakness of heart. The first fall down is caused by a desire to lord it over material nature. Thus one gives up the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The second weakness of heart is that one increases the propensity to lord it over material nature, becomes attached to matter and possession of matter. The problems of material existence are due to weakness of heart. In this chapter, the first 5 verses describe the process of freeing oneself from this weakness of heart. The rest of the chapter, from 6th verse to the end, discuss Purushottam Yoga. Chapter 15, purport, last verse. The weakness of heart. This weakness of heart is not a material disease. You can't go to the doctor and get some medicine to cure it. But the living entity, we have a gross body made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether, and we have a subtle body, which is mind, intelligence, and false ego. Now the subtle body is in the heart region, along with the soul and the super soul. So when they do a heart transplant, they take the heart from one person and give it to another person. Prabhupada compares this to a person who sits in one chair and then he goes to another chair. So the person that gets the heart from the other person, he maintains the same consciousness, because the soul, super soul, soul body are in the heart region. They're not actually in the heart organ. So he gets another heart. Because of his karma, he's allowed to live a few more years if they do a successful heart transplant. But he doesn't become a different person. Just like Daksha offended Lord Shiva, so they cut off his head. And then they wanted to give him his head back, but they had thrown it in the fire, so there was no head available. So the only head available was a goat's head. So they gave him a goat's head. But his consciousness he didn't become a goat. He didn't have the consciousness of a goat. He maintained the same consciousness. So the consciousness is not in the brain. Material scientists think that everything's in the brain. But because if you can live with other parts of your body, but you can't live without your head, your brain. But still, the consciousness is not in the brain. Consciousness is in the soul, and the soul's in the heart region. And because of the presence of the soul, the body seems to be living. So this symptom of life is consciousness. So the difference between a living body and a dead body is that the living body is conscious and the dead body has no consciousness. So the scientists, they say that life is just a combination of chemicals. So we challenge them that we'll give you all the chemicals, you bring a dead body back to life. And they say, well, that we can't do. Or maybe in the future, they're promising, in the future we'll be able to do it. Right now we can't do it. So we don't accept such foolishness. Prabhupada said, it's like a post-dated blank check. I'll give you a check for $1 million. I don't have any money, but in the future I may get some money. So it's not much value. So scientists, they start their lectures, they say maybe and perhaps and we're not sure, but then they give a whole lecture and they give them Nobel Prize for being a great scientist. So, but they don't know the facts. So Srila Prabhupada came to America at the age of 70 to tell people what is what and who is who, which is unknown in any other religions in the world. And the Bhagavad Gita contains all the everything that's in other scriptures and much more. Because other religions, they can't tell you who God is, but we can tell you who God is, what His name is, what His address is, what His phone number is, everything we can tell you. But they can't say, they say all the other religions in the world say God is formless, and He doesn't have, but one day I was giving class a few days ago, and one Muslim went to pray, and he came back and he asked him, who did you pray to? He said he prayed to God. He said, well, then the God must have ears. And the man couldn't say anything. If you're praying to God, if you're praying to nobody or nothing, then how can He hear your prayers? If He doesn't have a form, how can He have ears? How can He hear your prayers if He's formless? Well, this is a misconception. I think that God, that even the Bible says man is created in the image of God. So we have a form, and we can't think that God doesn't have a form. If you think God doesn't have a form, but we have a form, and God, then we have something more than God has. So the definition of God is the one supreme person, no one is equal to or greater than. So this is the definition. Ta Shri Krishna Namadi Namavad Indriyani. Swayam, what is that? Ta Shri Krishna Namadi Namavad Indriyani. Sayamukhi Jiva no Swayam Eva Sparat Ada. So, well, we can't know Krishna with this present senses. We can't understand Krishna until we have purified senses. It's like the holy name is not different in Krishna, but we can't understand that. This question is raised in the Krishna book, the prayers personified Vedas. If the sound vibration, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is a spiritual sound vibration, how can you chant a spiritual sound vibration with a material tongue and material mouth? But the answer is that the senses, the tongue and the mouth, all the senses has become purified. Then you can actually chant and understand Krishna, and Krishna is non-different than His name. So first Arjuna doesn't want to fight because Krishna's telling him to give up this petty weakness of heart. So weaknesses of heart means the anarthas in the heart. And this is described by Lord Chaitanya to Rupa Goswami, that the anarthas in the heart are innumerable. And Guru Krishna Prasadipai Bhakti Lata Beach, at the time of initiation, one receives the seed of devotional service. And that seed is planted, it begins to sprout. So when that seed sprouts, it becomes a creeper, a small plant. So you must fence it around. Especially in India, creepers are very subject to attack by the monkeys and other animals. So you have to fence that creeper by associating with devotees and following regulated principles. Then you have to water the creeper by the process of Shravanam Kirtanam, hearing and chanting. Then the creeper can grow very nicely. But when a creeper grows, also weeds come. So one has to be a diligent gardener. We have the gardener in the temple. His job is to only keep the plants that are nice and to pull out the weeds. So the weeds are in the form of narthas. And sometimes the weeds will grow along with the bhakti lata bij. And if one's not careful, he'll not recognize the weeds. And even though the weeds and the creeper are not the same species. There's 8,400,000 species, and plants, many different species in the plant category. And because one doesn't, is not careful in his devotional service is like a razor's edge. If one is shaving his face, if you become inattentive for even a moment, easily you can cut yourself. So devotional service is also is a simple process, but it's not so easy. And we're not careful, the narthas can grow up. And we see that persons who are practicing Krishna consciousness for many years all of a sudden leave the movement. Or sannyasis change their ashram. And this is because they weren't careful and cultivating the creeper to keep out the anarthas. So there's many anarthas there, and we have to try our best to avoid them. Some of them are like finding fault, criticizing devotees, telling lies, cheating people. These things are anarthas. Some anarthas we can avoid consciously. Some anarthas Krishna will, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, we can avoid. Like at the time of initiation, we promised no gambling, no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex. So to give up illicit sex is a difficult thing. But if we get the blessing of Guru and Krishna, then we can give it up, even though desires may come, but still we can become strong enough to overcome these things and not be distracted. But Krishna even says that even if one commits the most abominable activity, he's still considered saintly. And that namine bhakta priyachati. He said to Arjuna, you declare it boldly, my devotee is never vanquished. So if some devotee, by accident, due to the strong influence of material nature, happens to break the principles, if he continues with devotional service, repents his activities, and doesn't do it again, then Krishna will, there's no prayashchitta, there's no, nothing he has to do, he doesn't have to do anything except to continue chanting, continue the process of devotional service. And Krishna will excuse him from within the heart. So this is weakness of heart. So, because we were coming from the poor background, those of us come from the Western countries that weren't born in this movement, we were contaminated by so many outside influences, television, newspaper, all the media, which stress that one should have as much sense gratification as possible. So we always thought that was the goal of life, to do all the things that you're not supposed to do, to eat meat, to gamble, to take intoxication, have illicit sex. everybody in the material world thinks that that's what you're supposed to do. And when the parents of our disciples of Prabhupada, or when the parents of the devotees hear that their children are no longer doing these things, those parents who are not pious, who are not favorable to Krishna consciousness, they think that we become crazy. Because if you don't do those things in the material world, everyone thinks you're crazy. So they wrote a book, Who's Crazy? It's either, are they crazy or are we crazy? But we know devotees are sane because we've given up sinful activities. As long as you're engaging in sinful activities, you can't get free from the bondage of the material world, and you can't love God. It's like Krishna was talking to this cardinal in France, and he said, if you eat meat, that's sinful. So how can you love God if you're sinful? And he tried to explain to the man how they shouldn't eat meat, and how especially you shouldn't eat the cow. But the man couldn't understand these things because he was sinful, and he couldn't give Prabhupada, he wasn't in the mood, in a submissive mood. Tadvidi paripatena paripasena sevaya upiteksyanti gyanas yanastapa darshanaha. So one should inquire from the spiritual master with a humble, submissive attitude, not in a challenging attitude. And the spiritual master, he can impart knowledge unto you because he's seen the truth. So Arjuna was a Kshatriya, and Kshatriya's business is to fight. So he didn't have any reason not to fight because Krishna was telling him to fight. But here Prabhupada says if one is born in the Kshatriya family but doesn't act like a Kshatriya, then he's a Kshatriya, only the son of a Kshatriya, Kshatriya Bandhu. Same thing with a Brahmin. If one's born in a Brahmin family but he doesn't act like a Brahmin, he's only a Brahmin, the friend of a Brahmin. So many people claim to be Brahmins. We meet people on the street in America, they say, I'm a Brahmin, they show you their thread, and we ask them, what's your occupation? Well, I work in the bank, or I'm a lawyer, or I'm this and that. But the Brahmin, business of a Brahmin is to educate the population, not to take any kind of service other than teaching, and to live on alms. And the Brahmin, whatever alms he gets in the daytime, he would spend at night. He never keep any balance. And Prabhupada tells the story, one man in Krishnanagar in Bengal, he was a simple Brahmin, so one rich man came to him and said, are you satisfied? I can give you whatever you want. He said, no, I'm completely happy. I have some rice, I cook that, I take some leaves from the tree, and I mix it with my rice, and I'm happy. I don't need anything. So the Brahmin lives a simple life. Even Janaka Pandit was an advisor to the king, but he lived in a thatched hut. So he was an advisor. The Brahmins are supposed to be advisors to the king or leaders of the society. So Kshatriyas are supposed to fight, give protection to people, and so Kshatriya that declined to fight, this is an act of cowardice, or so Arjuna would be defamed if he didn't fight. And the other side, he was looking at who was on the battlefield, his enemy. They had tried to kill the Pandavas, and so many, Duryodhana and company had tried so many times to kill the Pandavas. So, of course, there's other souls there, like Bhishma and Drona, who were devotees of Krishna, were great exalted souls, but somehow or other they felt a debt to Dhritarashtra to fight against on the battlefield on the Kuru side instead of on the Pandava side. So the kings, Prabhupada said in Kashmir, even 200 years ago, the kings were very strict to punish. If a man was caught, was a thief, and he was caught and found guilty, then they would cut off his hand. So there wasn't too many thieves in the kingdom. Or if someone's a murderer, then he should be killed. Nowadays in many countries, they've outlawed the capital punishment. So if someone's a murderer and he's murdered and he's killed by the government, then he's absolved of this sinful activity of murder. But if he's not given punishment, then he'll have to suffer in his next life. So it's the rightful thing to do. If someone's a murderer, then he must be given the death sentence. Of course, someone is like Arjuna is on the battlefield. So when someone's ordered to go to war, he may kill so many people and get a gold medal or some kind of medal. But if he comes back to his hometown and kills one person, then he'll be punished, be put in jail and punished. Although it's the same activity, because it's not authorized by the government, then he'll have to suffer reaction. So this is the so it's in all cases, Arjuna's arguments were not very strong, and Krishna's defeating them one by one. So in the process of devotional service, there's 9 processes of devotional service, and Prahlad Maharaj, he was asked by his father. Prahlad Maharaj was a small boy, he was going to school. So his father called him, Hiranyakashipu, who was a demon, and felt that Lord Vishnu was his enemy, that Vishnu had killed his brother Hiranyaksha. So he asked Prahlad Maharaj, "What have you learned from your teachers?" And Prahlad Maharaj said, "Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasham, Shakyam, Atmani Vedanam." Hearing, chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, and paraphernalia and pastimes of the Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship, becoming a servant, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. So, this giving oral reception, in the schools they teach that the best way to get your education is by seeing. So they have so many visual aids. But that is not, we don't agree with that statement. Because it's Shravanam Kirtanam, it's not Shravanam Kirtanam seeing. It's not Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. Maharaj Parikshit, on the verge of death, he inquired from Sukadeva Goswami. He heard from him. Lord Brahma, at the beginning of creation, he heard from Lord Krishna, from Krishna within the heart. He didn't see. And when the demigods are in trouble, they go to Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma goes to the ocean of milk and prays to the Lord. And the Lord, he doesn't see the Lord, but he hears. The Lord instructs him, and then he instructs all the other demigods. So this has happened before Krishna appeared. Mother Earth was feeling the burden of the earth, so she went to Brahma in the form of a cow, and then Brahma went to the ocean of milk, Svetadreep, Dakshai Vishnu, and prayed to him. And he said that, tell the demigods that I'm going to appear on the earth at such and such time, and that they should also appear on the earth and assist me in my pastimes. So this is, heard. He heard it. He didn't see anything. The eyes, eyes are imperfect. A hawk can see 8 miles down. A vulture can see so far, so many miles down. But our eyes are limited. Our senses limited. We have imperfect senses. So the process of Shravanam Kirtanam. Of course, it's nice to see that Prabhupada's lectures, they're the subtitles, so we can read what Prabhupada's saying, because sometimes it's difficult to understand what Prabhupada says, or you might miss a few words. And the same thing, Gaur Govinda Maharaj. They made so many lectures, videos of him giving lectures, but you can't understand anything he says because there's too much noise and they weren't recorded properly. But when they put the subtitles on the bottom, then you can read what he's saying, then you can understand it clearly. So it's not a bad thing to see when you're hearing Prabhupada's lectures. But we shouldn't consider this part of the it's not part of the 9 processes of devotional service. But it's also Nirbandhan Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagya Uchite. It's also that everything should be can be utilized in the service of Krishna. So due to the advent of modern technology, Prabhupada had all his lectures recorded and all his morning walks and conversations, so we could hear them again and again and get this Shabda Brahman, or spiritual knowledge, by hearing. And now they made it so we can see Prabhupada giving. So these are very good tools for to engage ourselves in devotional service. It says in the Nectar instruction that one should utilize one's full-time, 24 hours a day, in hearing, chanting, remembering name, form, qualities of Krishna, pastimes of Krishna. So we might find that difficult, but if we have a MP3 player or a laptop computer, then we have free time. We can always see the Prabhupada's lectures are there. All Prabhupada's lectures, Prabhupada's books, everything's there on the computer. So we can utilize our time reading Prabhupada's books, or listening to Prabhupada's lectures, or listening to Prabhupada's kirtans, or all these things are available now for us due to modern technology. So this is the process. So we have to follow this process of giving all reception to so this is very important. So the next point the Prabhupada was making is that God is all good. God can't be immoral. One time, Murari Gupta, he didn't understand Krishna. So he got a chopper, he was going to kill himself. First, he said Krishna, he killed Vali from behind a tree. He cut off the nose of Ravana's sister, nose and ears. He dances with other women. He dances with women who are married with other married women, other people's wives. So what kind of person is this? So, but Lord Chaitanya could understand the mind of Murari Gupta. So he went to his house and said, Murari, I know you have that chopper, you give it to me, because you're my servant, and I can't bear to live without you. So you should not do this. So these may seem immoral, but because Krishna is the all good, Krishna can't do anything bad. So Krishna is telling Arjuna to fight. It's not, he wouldn't be telling Arjuna to do something bad. So, Prabhupada often emphasized the importance of controlling the senses, that especially the tongue. And Lord Chaitanya instructed Raghunath Das Goswami that 3 things. You should not dress very luxuriously, you should not eat palatable food, and you should not talk. Listen or hear this Gramya Katha, village talk. So the tongue has 2 functions, vibrating and tasting. So devotees in this movement should be very careful that we only eat Krishna prasadam, food that's been offered to the Lord, deity, Lord Krishna. And because it says in Bhagavad Gita, if you eat food that's not offered first and sacrificed, then verily you'd only sin. And if you eat grains cooked by non-devotees, it makes your mind wicked. So we should be careful. Prabhupada said we should not eat in airplanes, restaurants, or hotels. Of course, if it's Govinda's restaurant, devotee restaurant, that's a different story, because they offer the food, that's prasadam. But other restaurants, they don't offer food. And we shouldn't eat demigod prasadam either. This is also offensive. Some places, they offer the food to Lord Shiva or Durga, but we can't eat that either. But if the prasadam is offered to Lord Vishnu, and then it's offered to Lord Shiva, then it becomes Maha prasadam, then we can take that. But otherwise, we should be careful what we eat, because it has an effect on our consciousness. So devotees should only eat Krishna prasadam, nothing else. Vacha vegam, manasa krodha vegam. Says one must control the tongue. Tongue, the mind demands, the tongue, belly, genital, all these things, the action of anger. If one can control his senses, then he can become a guru. He's qualified to become a guru and initiate people all over the world. So, this is the importance to be devotee. We have to control our senses. Prabhupada says that even over and above chanting Hare Krishna, you have to control your senses. If you can't control your senses, the senses are like wild horses. If you take wild horses, you put them in a corral or fence them in, then they're still wild, but at least they can't get out. But if you let the horses out, then they'll go everywhere and anywhere. So we have to always be conscious that we're to control our senses, control our mind, control our tongue, control our everything, so we can focus our mind, attention on Krishna. Especially when we're chanting japa, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then we must try to be attentive. It's difficult. Wherever the mind wanders, you have to bring it back under the control of the self. So we should just try to hear the Maha Mantra when we're chanting our 16 rounds. Whereas here in Vrindavan, it's much easier to chant than it is in other parts of the world, because Vrindavan is spiritual atmosphere. Even though modern technology has polluted the atmosphere, it's easier to chant all day long in Vrindavan. In the Western countries, it's much harder to chant because the modes of nature are very influential, especially passion and ignorance. So this is why we rise early. Prabhupada said everyone must rise before 4 o'clock, otherwise your advancement in Krishna consciousness will be checked. So we have to rise before 4 o'clock, take bath, attend the Mangala Arati. Mangala Arati means all auspicious. So people should attend the Mangala Arati, chant and dance, and then chant japa after Mangala Arati. And then we attend Darshan Arti and Guru Puja in class. All these are part of the process of Vaidhi Bhakti, or sadhana of Vaidhi Bhakti. Because right now we're practicing devotional service. But Lord Chaitanya, in his 8 prayers, the last prayer is the mood of Radharani. Lord Chaitanya is Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayaya. He is Radha and Krishna combined. So he comes in the Kali Yuga in a golden complexion. And he's gold on the outside and black on the inside, because he's actually Krishna. But he wants to experience the mood. Radharani, he doesn't actually know the mood. Radharani's mood and ecstatic love for Krishna is so wonderful. The Lord Chaitanya wants to also experience that. And what is Radharani? She prays that whether you make me broken-hearted, or whether you're present before me or make me broken-hearted by not being present before me, you're always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. So in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Narada Muni is trying to find out who had the most mercy. And eventually it came to the gopis and Radharani. And Sukadeva Goswami, he didn't mention the name of gopis or Radharani's name in the Srimad Bhagavatam, because if he did so, then he would go into ecstatic trance and he couldn't continue to speak. So this is even though Lord Chaitanya was a sannyasi, when he heard from Ramananda Roy, when he asked Ramananda Roy what the highest goal of life was, he told him that the mood of the gopis, worship of the gopis, when the mood of the gopis was the topmost form of devotional service. So this is our goal. The devotees were not interested in liberation. What did Bilva Mangala Thakur says in Krishna Karnamrita? He said, if I am engaged in devotional service unto you, my dear Lord, then very easily can I perceive your presence everywhere. As far as liberation is concerned, I think that liberation stands at my door with folded hands, waiting to serve me. And all material conveniences of Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha stand with her. So devotees, we don't want liberation. We don't want to go to Vaikuntha. We don't want the 5 opulences you can get. There's 4 opulences you can get in Vaikuntha. But our goal is to attain Prema Bhakti, to go to Golok Vrindavan. There's the material world, then there's the Vaikuntha planets, then there's the Golok Vrindavan. So Golok Vrindavan is the goal of all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. We're in the Brahma, Gaudiya, Vaishnava, Madhva, Gaudiya, Sampradaya. So our goal, we are all Vaishnavas. We are all devotees of Krishna. So we want to perfect our lives so we can go back to Krishna and join Krishna in his eternal Leela with the gopis and all the Kaur boys. And they didn't know Krishna was God, but they simply loved Krishna. And they were selfless service. So it may appear that Krishna is dancing with the other people's wives in the dead of night. It may appear to be material, but it's not material. It's like the difference between day and night, or iron and gold. So and by the instruments of Yoga Maya, the gopis, all their wives, by Yoga Maya, the wives expanded themselves. So when they went to see Krishna, the Yoga Maya form stayed with their husbands. So the husbands didn't know that they had gone to see Krishna. But they weren't interested in their own self-interest. They were all interested in pleasing Krishna. One time, Krishna said, I have a headache. He told Narada Muni, you find somebody, I need the feet dust from some devotee to cure my headache. And it has to be before 5 o'clock. So Narada Muni said, well, I can't give you my feet dust. I'll go to hell. So then he went to the queens in Dwarka. He said, no, we can't give our feet dust. We'll go to hell. But then he went to the gopis and said, the gopis said, well, you take as much as you want. Here, take as much as you want. And he said, well, you don't mind going to hell? They said, well, no. If it pleases Krishna, if we have to go to hell for the pleasure of Krishna, then we don't mind. Because anything for Krishna's pleasure, we're willing to sacrifice anything for Krishna's pleasure. So this is the mood of the gopis. They were not interested in their sense gratification. There's no immoral activity, Krishna and the gopis. They don't have material bodies. There's no bad smell coming from their bodies. There's nothing material. They all have Satchitananda bodies, and purely spiritual bodies, and Krishna's activities may seem material, but they're not. And so we have to have, with purified senses, then we can appreciate these esoteric pastimes of Krishna. And Sukadeva Goswami, he was speaking to a mixed audience. They weren't all Vaishnavas. There were many yogis and jnanis, and so he did describe the Rasa Leela of Krishna's in the 10th canto, but only briefly, not in detail, because he understood his audience. And also Lord Chaitanya was very careful about talking about Krishna's pastimes with anyone except for his most intimate disciples. So Lord Chaitanya came 500 years ago to inaugurate the Sankirtan movement, the chanting of the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Prabhupada gave Brahman initiation, so we should, for people who are unqualified, in Australia, he installed a deity and he initiated 10 people. They told one lady, no, you make Brahman threads for people who are getting second initiation. And she said, well, what's a Brahman thread? And she said, well, so I make one for myself. And women don't wear Brahman threads, only men. So they didn't even know what they were doing. They didn't know what it meant to be a Brahmin. But Krishna prayed to the deity there that I'm leaving you in the hands of Malechyas, so you will kindly guide them. So Super Soul will guide them so they could take care of worship the deities nicely. So he gave Brahman initiation with the hope that people will come up to the standard of a Brahmin. And it's described, 18th chapter gives the quality of Brahmins: cleanliness, honesty, peacefulness, so many qualities there are Brahman. So we're trying to make, it's not by birth. They challenged Prabhupada, criticized Prabhupada, making Western Europeans into Brahmins and sannyasis. But everywhere in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Srimad Bhagavatam, so many verses say that it's not by birth. It's not janma karma, it's guna karma. It's by quality. If one is born in a family of a high court judge, one does not become a high court judge simply because of his birth. He has to go to school and get all the credentials, and then he can become a high court judge. So Prabhupada gave Brahman initiation. He knew who he was giving him to, but he expected the devotees to come up to the level to become Brahmins, become first-class citizens, pure devotees of Krishna. That means Anya Bilasita Sunya Gyanaparamanavitam Anukulena Krishna no Bhakti Uttamam. This definition of Rupa Goswami: pure devotional service, free from gyan, free from karma, and only pure devotional service or service to Krishna with no other interest, no other desire. We have to become desireless, or one with the desire of Krishna. So Arjuna's inability, this weakness of heart, and Krishna says, arise, Tista, Tista, we pray, Lord, we get up in the morning. So Krishna is trying to awaken Arjuna to the real facts, that he should simply fight this battle and not be a coward, not try to run away or give so many excuses. And Arjuna, of course, is the Nityasiddha, eternal association of the Lord, and he's playing this part by the influence of Yogamaya, so Krishna can speak the Bhagavad Gita for the benefit of all human society. And this is why Srila Prabhupada printed the Bhagavad Gita, printed all his books, and wanted them distributed all over the world, so we can at least find those people who are innocent and are frustrated with material life, are looking for some alternative to the mundane material life, which actually doesn't give anyone any pleasure. Material life, Prahlad Maharaj says, it's like chewing the chewed. You take some sugar cane, you chew it for a while, it's sweet, then you spit it out. If you go back and try to chew it again, there's nothing left, there's no taste. But material life is like that. So people are trying to have sense gratification over and over again, They're not getting any taste from it. So we're giving people an opportunity to take the Krishna consciousness and get a higher taste so they can give up the lower taste, which only keeps one bound up in the material world. So there's many more things to say here, but I have to go for Arti. So if there's any quick questions, I'll take one or two quick questions. Any comments? Srila Prabhupada ki, Bhagavad Gita ki.